It's another beautiful day in the city of Lagos. Now, with all the recent happenings around the world, we are thankful to be here, bearing nothing but positive energy to brighten your day in the midst of the bleakness. Now, every episode of your #1 breakfast show offers a variety of the very best in television content, regardless of the time we are in. Now, we are definitely going to make every minute worth your while. Stay right here with us till the very end. And you know, we like to advise that you take the necessary precautions and follow all the rules as we combat the terrible virus. Now, please, please, please stay at home, self-isolate. If you don't have to be out, please stay at home. But if you go out, practice social distancing. Wash your hands regularly, sanitize your hands, do everything that we need to do to keep ourselves safe. My name is Tokwe Olonio, and this is Wake Up Nigeria. Now, we are streaming live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect. And also now, with all that is going on, we definitely want to know what is happening where you are. Send in your comments with the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC on all our social media platforms. Now, this is very important. You know we have an app, right? And so much is happening in the world, and you need people in the diaspora to know what's happening in Nigeria. So tell them they need to download the app. It's available on Android, iOS stores, and guess what? You can watch us on your mobile device from anywhere in the world. Very first musical performance this morning, we have singer-songwriter Flo Go. Now, how fat is your budget when it comes to decorating? Stay with us on Home Makeover for a rerun on decorating on a budget. Taking the right amount of supplements cannot be ignored, especially at times like this. So we will be looking at nutrition beyond food with Lola Ajijola. Now, our second music performance is the fast-rising Afro-pop star, C. Dorfin.
It's C. Dorfin again. Hey, I got to fly, I know dropping.
Now, we still have more music coming your way, this time from singer, actor, and entrepreneur Promise. You're definitely going to love this one. Baby. Moving on, we have How Do You Tell If She Is the One For You? We have another rerun with Toby Ajayi, and he will be sharing deciding if he or she is the one with us on the show. Very interesting. Are you the one for him, or is he the one for you? Okay, people, welcome. So as much as it's funny to see these videos of people making jokes about the coronavirus, I think we shouldn't take it so personally. People handle fear differently, and people are handling the coronavirus from different approaches. So if handling it that way is what works for you, then fine. But I would like to talk about what I was telling my colleagues yesterday about how we can keep ourselves clean and how we can try as much as possible to stay healthy by using the natural things that are available to us, like ginger. So I was suggesting, while we're having a conversation, ginger, garlic, oranges, and I saw on the internet yesterday onions. I don't know about onions, but I know about ginger, garlic, turmeric, oranges, and kiwi. Now, they're high in vitamin C, and we all need as much vitamin C as we can pump into our systems at this time, because it is scary. I can only imagine how you all are freaking out. I have freaked out, but I have tried to get my chi together. So if we can try as much as possible to make, like blend them together, garlic, turmeric, ginger, oranges, and take it like a shot, like a quick shot, I'm sure we'll definitely feel better and keep our vitamins up, keep our vitamins boosted. Then very importantly, it's so funny how it just takes us washing our hands. Wash your hands every other time. Like you feel bored, get up and wash your hands. You feel like, oh, you just went out and came back, go and wash your hands. Like the water is not going anywhere. Wash your hands through running water. So don't put your hand inside a bowl of water. Wash it with running water. So you put the water get your soap and then you wash for 20 seconds. And my colleague Titi would say you should sing the happy birthday song from the beginning to the end. That is 20 seconds. You rinse your hand. So don't use the same hand and turn the tap off. If you get tissue, I know it can sound creepy, but use tissue to cover to close the tap, and use tissue to open doors, and change the tissue as frequently as possible. I know people might think that, oh, your own is too much or you're overdoing. Better to overdo than to hear a sorry case 14 days after. So I think pretty much that's what we can do to keep ourselves clean. Social distancing, very important. See, those friends don't want to come and visit you. Don't want to come and check in. They should check in via video calls and chats. Stay away from people. So social distancing is for people who actually do not have. So there's social distancing, there's self-isolation, and there's quarantine. So please, to be safe, social distance is that easy. So quickly, we'll be moving on to the news. Nigeria's coronavirus cases have risen to 44 with 41 confirmed active cases. The latest case is the chief of staff to the president, who recently returned from a foreign trip, accompanied by the other Nigerian officials, and the governor of Bauchi, who had contact with the son of the former vice president, Atiku Abubakar. Our Abuja Deputy Bureau Chief Femi Akonde reports.
The chief of staff's current health condition may have ruffled some feathers within the presidency and also some highly placed Nigerians. It is unclear how many people the president's chief of staff had close contact with, thereby making it difficult for health authorities to carry out contact tracing. Findings reveal that Abba Kyari traveled to Germany 2 weeks ago to meet with officials of Siemens to discuss Nigeria's electricity expansion program. The chief of staff then left Germany to London and Egypt. He returned to Abuja on the 14th of March. Since his return, he has held various meetings with different government officials and individuals, and also continued to function in his capacity as the chief of staff to the president. On the 17th of March, he was with the president when members of the Economic Advisory Council visited the presidential villa. On the 18th of March, the chief of staff was at the Federal Executive Council meeting, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, and had in attendance the vice president, secretary to the government of the federation, and cabinet ministers. There was also a leaked memo signed by the chief of staff expressing his concern over the refusal of some lawmakers to subject themselves to health screening at the airport, having just returned from high-risk countries. Thankfully, the president's test returned negative, despite his close contact with Abba Kyari, considered as his right-hand man. But Abba Kyari just entered self-isolation on Monday when he started showing symptoms of the coronavirus, and this has caused panic in the corridors of power. The Presidential Task Force on Covid-19 were also at the presidential villa to ensure Mr. President and the first family are safe. The situation around the country remains very fluid, with the numbers of infected persons rising daily and overstretching the country's health infrastructure. President Muhammadu Buhari have also approved measures that may help break the chain of transmission and slow down the spread. Femi Akonde, TVC News, Abuja.
Lagos State is putting down measures to contain the spread of the coronavirus. This is why Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has ordered the shutting down of markets and stalls in the state, except those selling food and medical items. The governor gave the directive at the press briefing on the COVID-19 situation in the state. TVC News senior correspondent Sharon Ijason was at the briefing, where Governor Sanwo-Olu stressed that the measures are needed to check the spread of the coronavirus, as Lagos cannot afford a total lockdown at the moment.
Governor of Lagos State Babajide Sanwo-Olu at the press briefing on COVID-19 pandemic after a meeting with heads of security agencies in the state. Governor Sanwo-Olu announced new measures needed to be adhered to by residents of the city. He said public parks in private and residential estates, swimming pools, gyms, beauty salons and other public places should shut down until further notice.
If you do not have a need or a reason to leave your location, please stay at home. That's the best that you can do for your family, for yourself, and for us to ensure that we can do the job and do it well. So, and that's why we're extending the coverage of the lockdown from Thursday 26th, like I said, to all markets, but except the ones that I've given exceptions to, that are selling food and essential household materials and medical equipment that we might need to restock or we might need to deal with.
The State Commissioner for Health, Professor Abayomi, says the state has the capacity to do molecular tests, which is 100% accurate, unlike the rapid test kit in circulation. Yaba Mainland Hospital, the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, and the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research have this facility.
It's not airborne, it is droplet-borne. So if I sneeze, it will remain in the air for a few seconds until the droplets fall to the ground. It does not remain suspended in the air. So in precise definition, it is not airborne, it is rather droplet-borne, and it remains active on some surfaces for a few hours.
The national leader of the ruling All Progressive Congress APC, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, reiterated the need for people to cultivate the habit of social distancing to curb the spread of coronavirus.
In addition to the appeal of the governor for you to continue in bus stops and various environments, maintain distance from one another, stop the handshake, do what is necessary to protect the citizens.
Though there are about 1,800 persons to still be contacted to ensure that the coronavirus disease is actually contained in Lagos State. The Lagos State government is yet to announce a total lockdown of the state because of some economic implication. But the truth remains that social distancing and personal hygiene needs to be adhered to at this point to contain the disease. Sharon Ijason, TVC News, Lagos.
Well, that's it on the news update for this hour. Let's take a look at the weather when we return. Sports news with Mike. Mike, today is Wednesday. We're starting this morning with the headlines from this day, Wednesday, 25th of March, 2020. We have here Osibanjo ministers self-isolate as Kyari Mohammed test positive. Buhari not infected. COVID-19 tally rises to 44, spreads to 6 states. Relief as ventilators, test kits arrive Nigeria. Sanwo-Olu closes non-essential market banks. National Assembly shuts down. NNPC tells staff to work from home. A picture story here shows the fear of COVID-19. Vice President Yemi Osibanjo operates from Home Office, Aguda House, State House, Abuja yesterday. At the top here, we have CBN retains NPR at 13.5% to enhance COVID-19 interventions. Now you can read this and more on this day, this morning. Moving on to Daily Trust, we have here, before testing positive for COVID-19, Kyari mingled with governors, ministers, and others. his engagement in 10 days, Osibanjo in self-isolation, plan to isolate key functionaries on underway. There's a photo story here, but at the bottom we have Chief of Staff to the President, Abba Kyari, and Minister of Power, Engineer Saleh Maman, with Siemens officials during their visits to Munich in Germany on 9th of March. Other shots show Kyari consoling Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State over the death of his mother in attendance at the last Federal Executive Council meeting on the 18th of March and on the Progressive Governors Forum meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari on the 16th of March. We also have here National Assembly shuts down, says no lawmaker tested positive. Taraba to check influx of refugees from troubled Cameroon region. COVID-19, Niger government says no confirmed cases in their state. Niger government says no confirmed cases in their state. Moving on to Nigerian Tribune. Now, if you want to read Nigerian Tribune this morning, the headline says COVID-19, fear in government circles as Kyari, Bauchi state governor, tests positive. Nigeria now has 44 cases. You can read that and more on page 2 and page 7. India locks down 1.3 billion population. CBN retains NPR at 13.5%. Boko Haram kills 47 soldiers in Borno. Ajimobi sets up Oyo APC reconciliation team. Picks Alao Akala as chairman. You can see that on page 3. Now at the bottom, still on coronavirus, we have Lagos, Edo, Ondo, Plateau, Oshu, shut markets, park stores. More states orders workers to stay at home. NAS adjourns for 2 weeks. There's so much happening in the news on coronavirus. We should keep ourselves well educated. Moving on to the Vanguard this morning, we have coronavirus. Widespread fear as Kyari, Bauchi State Governor tests positive. Cases now 44 as NCDC confirms new cases in Lagos, Ogun, Bauchi, Abuja. Presidential Task Force inspects Aso Rock. Jack Ma's test kits arrive. Why Aisha Buhari shut office for 2 weeks. PDP urges Buhari to speak on villa status. Osibanjo conducts meetings via video conferencing. Now, there's a picture story here of an empty airport, and we have reaching departure hall of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, without the usual crowd of travelers after closure to international flights as part of measures to curtail the spread of coronavirus yesterday. At the bottom, we have 50 soldiers killed in Boko Haram ambush. Reps pass bill for COIS to get 50% payee refund. Federal government okays process for appointment of permanent secretaries. Kano, Benue send workers home for 2 weeks as Plateau shuts markets and clubs. Oh, well, that's the last we can take on the headlines in the papers this morning. Let's remember to keep ourselves clean and practice social distancing. Let's take a break. We'll be giving traffic reports when we get back.
You should be at home. Optimally, you should be, but in case you just have to move out because you are part of essential services and all of that, let's see what we can do to help you along the road while you are in Lagos, of course. So, yeah, this morning was a bit more, it was more controlled, more than yesterday. There were more people on the road, but this morning it was a bit, we had, while getting here, so less people on the road. So I do expect traffic to be to be very, very much, you know. And then, of course, at different places, obey, of course, there's this traffic light I saw, and well, I wouldn't want to say it was malfunctioning at all. It was giving mixed signals at some point in time and all of that. But if it's early in the morning, you just have to watch out. While coming this morning, I saw about 4 to 5 at different spots, cars and trailers that had, you know, maybe they had broken down or something. And then there was no There was no triangle, there was no hazard light on and all of that. It was very scary.
So we need to be careful.
It was very scary this morning. Like 5. I'm telling you, like 5. And I was like, oh, wow, what happened?
Yeah.
You know, that's maybe along the express, just before the express and all of that. Like 5 of them, different spots. And I don't know how this thing happens. It happens such a way that they come maybe at the end of a bend or just before a bend. So if you want to overtake, someone said, I always love someone who said, look, when you don't drive for yourself and drive for the person in front of you.
Yes.
So you should actually see ahead, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars ahead. Yeah. You know, ensure that you don't overtake on bends.
Even when you see that you're the only one, still be careful at bends, because you see some people accelerating at bends. I don't know how you all do it, but just be careful.
You don't. You really should not do that. You don't accelerate. It's a rule of thumb. I used when I growing up, even as a very little kid, watching my father drive, and he always used to say it when he drives. You decelerate or you brake into bends, and then you accelerate out, or just put it very slowly, slow in, and fast out. Again. So you know when you're going into a bend, and instead of going to bend and they're doing as if it's Grand Prix. You know when it's Grand Prix and you're thinking that okay, it's at the bend I have an advantage, which is normally the case. It's at bends. That's why you have an advantage in Grand Prix to overtake the next person. So you are trying to, but Lagos road is not Italian Grand Prix or something smooth road. Okay, be careful, please.
Let me just quickly take a route for people moving from Abulegba to Ikeja. So that's Abulegba, Agege, Iju, Ogba, Obakran, moving around, moving to Ikeja. It will take you 31 minutes, which is telling me that there are very few people on the road today. So starting from Abulegba bus stop, that's around Pipeline, connecting to Ekoro Road. So it's free flowing. The only place I can see traffic at this point is at Agege. Not sure. There's actually thick traffic at about there's no particular landmark, but just shortly after Old Abeokuta Road to Agege, there is traffic. Not sure what's building it there. If you're around that axis, please let us know. We have from Diamond Estate, Owando, all the way down, surprisingly, all the way down to the Owando filling station. There's traffic, but after that, there's no traffic through Agege Post Station. Back to Agege Local Government Motor Park. From that point, there is traffic again through Corn Oil, but from Mangoro Taxi Park, the traffic actually stops. And then you have free flowing through Akombi, free flowing to Oba Akran. Now connecting through Adeni Jones, there's just a slight traffic at that point. But after that, you have free flowing. There's traffic again at the Adeni Jones connecting to Arumire. That's where we have the roundabout. Just at that point, there's traffic. After that, again, free flowing. I think today is quite good. Once you get to Tinwade, that's just around Ikeja. There's slight traffic. But apart from that, if you don't have anything doing outside, please try your best to stay indoors.
Just stay indoors.
So just keep yourself safe.
Just stay indoors, definitely. Stay indoors. And we just, while we were taking news, of course, the governor of the state also mentioned also markets will be closed from tomorrow. From tomorrow, yeah. And we're talking about clothes. We are selling stuff that is not essential. If you're not selling food. And supplies. So food, medical supplies, and all of that, you would have to close down, you know. So major parts, there are some markets that sell almost everything. So some parts of markets will close down due to that. So please, let's heed the warning of the state governor and, of course, the Commissioner for Health, Professor Abayomi, and all of that, right? Yeah. Okay, so, yeah, talking about Professor, you know, he made yesterday, of course, the day before yesterday, AMVC has been trending, and he made mention about somebody who attended AMVC who was tested positive and all of that. So everybody should, you know, one, I look at it in 2 ways. It's a double-edged sword. It's been 10 days after AMVC. You know, if anything, it's quite late that it's coming, but better late than never. You know, but in 10 days, so the normal space for quarantine when you should show symptoms for coronavirus is 14 days, 2 weeks, right? So if in 10 days you have not shown any symptom, most likely you understand you don't have it, but then you still have maybe a few days to a week. So the advice is that if you were at AMVCA, please ensure that you self-isolate. You quarantine yourself, stay back, and then if you have symptoms, you reach out to the NCDC and all of that. So maybe 3, 4, 5 more days, maximum 1 week and all of that. I know some people who went, because, well, media session, so we have people who went there.
Yeah.
And they've already quarantined themselves and all of that. So, you know, to wait it out and ensure that everything go, even though I know that there was precaution quite a lot. They try to test people, ensure that they're washing their hands and all that. But hey, you can't be too careful. You can't. You mentioned it. I listened to you saying it and all of that. Well, you were talking about.
Like
what?
So personally, I started using tissue papers to open doors. So open anything openable. And I remember my neighbor saying, because I was using tissue to open my door, and then she's like, talk about it that deep. I'm like, yes, it's that deep. Because if something else happens, you will not remember that it's not that deep. True. So I was telling people to use garlic, ginger, oranges, kiwi, pump yourself with as much vitamins. It can never be too much. It can just be...
Are you sure? It can't be too much.
I was going to say, but it can never be too much at this point. You get? Yes, the body needs a certain amount, but let's give it that amount and more so that we're protecting ourselves. That's and then I saw some videos on the internet of people putting ginger, lemon, and onions in hot water, like boiling water, and then they cover their head and steamed for 10 minutes. So, you know, people can say, is it necessary or is it not necessary? But at this point, me and me do everything. Have
you done it?
Not yet. I said this morning, but I'm sure I'll do it.
See, I think you
I'll
do
it because I read that it cannot survive for a very long time in a very hot environment. So I can boil my face, boil my skin.
So, I had a discussion with a friend yesterday. Yesterday, and we're talking like, some people just warm their intestines and their heart and their liver is going to be boiled. When they do, please be cautious about it. We know that growing up, you know, to cure malaria and all of that, we used to have that something. You put yourself over and you cover with the towel and all of that.
And they believe that it comes out.
Please do be careful. Please do be careful. Yes. But on the good news also, let's talk about the good part. Mikel Arteta, manager of Arsenal, has recovered.
And Chelsea players.
Callum Hudson-Odoi, Chelsea player, has recovered. Olympiacos president, Marinakis, who actually was the one that... in that particular scenario was the index case was patient 0.
The problem is they're just saying has recovered. They should tell us what they did so we can share to the
so you know,
of the world.
you know what happens. You know what happens for coronavirus. They're saying that look, the treatment differs for different individuals. That's why there's still no, you can't treat yourself. If you do have the symptoms, you self-isolate and then you call in a report and then you go to the treatment center. You can't because they differ. But a big, you know, Mikel Arteta having recovered, that's a big news because, I mean, considering that Arsenal, and as a Premier League club, we know the following football has. So it was a big hit for a lot of people like, Mikel Arteta and all of that. But being an active person, being a footballer and all of that, we know that their regimen while they were playing had to do with a lot of physical activity and all of that, and, you know, ensuring that their body's in top condition. So the footballers, I mean, Callum Hudson-Odoi virtually almost showed no symptoms.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Callum Hudson-Odoi from the beginning. So when he put it up, this video. This video was when he put up 2 or 3 videos, the one you're seeing now, and he mentioned that, look, I'm good, I've tested positive, but I don't have, I'm asymptomatic. So he almost did not see symptoms all through till he got through it, till he recovered. So he gave few video updates like the one you're just seeing now. And you know,
I just think it's good to even see and hear that
that's the point. WHO has said it. You can. That's why, you know, there have been talk of tests with chloroquine. Even though the World Health Organization is not approved, but it has said that some medical professionals in some kind of cases have prescribed it in some particular kind of patients. So it has not yet been approved, but there was no blanket statement that it was ruled out outrightly. So that's the point. So you cannot, when you put up something out there and everybody goes, I mean, you have people who have chloroquine poisoning in Nigeria. There's a man with his family. I mean, look at this is Italy and all of that. And Italy, of course, has the most lockdown. I saw a video. It was a funny video. The guy came out of the building in Italy here, as you can see. He came out and then he had police siren. That's the Coliseum, of course. That's the Coliseum in Italy, and as you can see, you just see very few cars. Most of them are the police you know, making rounds and all of that, ensuring that.
I don't get.
his picture now. You know,
Oh, that picture can wait.
Yeah, it can. You know, also on the good part is that Wuhan has not recorded a case.
Do you understand?
in like 3-4 days now.
As much as I'm happy for them, hello, people sent it to the world, and
So they should.
You don't.
I think there are things that we can learn. For me, I would say let's do, as we saw in Italy and Spain, that street sanitizing.
Yes.
You know that one, because some of us will know. And I made mention that, look, we are in a country where some people have to, if they don't go out in a day, some families will not feed.
True, very true.
So I was talking to a friend.
People earn their daily bread
daily. I was talking to a friend and we're chatting. I said, hunger versus virus. What would you do? She couldn't say anything. I said, hunger. Let's be pragmatic here now. Hunger versus virus. You will not think of the virus. You go and look for food. Do you understand?
Well,
so you go and look for food. You've not done.
The first 2 days, my body should eat the food.
I recommend. I hope that we can do street massive sanitize that tanker style.
Yes,
but
tanker style.
But hey, okay, that's it on What's Up and About. There's good news in the midst of all
the tragedy.
All the things are happening. But then we'll take this break now. We'll return with birthday shout outs. More good news. Don't go nowhere.
People, I was on a dating app a few years ago, and I had on my bio, in 80 years we'll all be dead. And the idea of it is to remind people that no matter how much we try, no matter what we do, no matter the things that make us afraid, after a while, we'll be gone. And when you're looking at your life, when you're sitting down with your grandchildren at the age of 92, and you're telling them about the choices you made when you were younger, are you going to be proud of the choices you make? Are you going to be proud of the person you cheated? Are you going to be proud of the person whose heart you broke, that thing you stole? Are you going to be proud of the fact that when somebody asked you about your identity, you lied? Are you going to be proud of all the people you duped and swindled? Of that affidavit that you are swearing to declare a false age? About the people whose salaries you refused to pay because you were going through momentary brokenness? About the woman who you cheated on because you wanted momentary pleasure? The life that you probably destroy because of the things that you want to get. One day, we will die. One day we will go. When that time comes, and we're looking at the life that we lived, decades, years, dozens, will we sit down on our deathbeds and say to ourselves, I lived a good life. I made a good choice. I did the things that I wanted to do. The Stoic philosophers had a saying, memento mori. And the idea was that it is useful to practice living every day as if it's your last. Because if you have that sense of urgency, it will force you to make the right decisions. And by the time your life is ended, you'll be able to look back and be proud that you did it your way.
And every time, every hour in Wake Up Nyjah, we come up with something special, of course, better than what we had the previous hour.
And that is why we are on arguably the best thing happening on television right now.
Welcome to the second lap on our midweek edition of the show. Of course, there's still quite a lot coming up shortly. Stay with us. So we have 1 hour, 45 minutes more to go. I am Mike Mesikeno.
And I am Tokwe Olonio. Now remember to stream live at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Comment with the hashtag Wake Up Nyjah on TVC across Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Now, we also have an app available for download both on Android and iOS stores. Now, this app allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world.
Okay, of course. You know how it is. We've done quite well in this point. We're still having our chefs and still making our runs and all of that. Making sense. We're trying. We're doing well.
Yes, we're doing well. Oi.
Oh, we are. Our chef is in the kitchen still setting things up.
Yeah.
Who's with the chef today? No, I was fasting yesterday.
You were fasting? Well, I think I saw
fasting.
chicken entering your mouth. But, I mean, if
Hello,
you say
chef.
so.
Yeah, our chef is there.
Hi, chef.
How you doing? Good, good.
How you doing?
Great to cook up a storm this morning.
Yes.
Of course. And yeah.
And
so,
Mike is fasting again today.
why are you fasting?
You're fasting for the country.
You'll fast. All right, now still coming up is our first musical act this morning, singer and songwriter Logo.
For your love, hold up when we go polish. Share you this say you don't finish. Oluwa don't dey furnish.
How fat is your budget when it comes to decorating or your home or office? Now stay with us on Home Makeover for a rerun on decorating on a budget.
Now for the right supplement to boost your immune system, stick around as we look at nutrition beyond food with Lola Ajibola. I'm looking forward to this one.
Yes. Definitely. Now joining us for a second musical performance is fast-rising Afro pop star C. Dorothy.
This girl you banging. It's see the fin again. Hey, I go to fly high, you know, dropping. They know I'm getting.
Talkba is definitely in the dancing mood. There's still more music. Of course, singer, actor, and entrepreneur Promise, of course, will be here. And music today. That's cool. Now, Talkba, how do you tell if he's the one or she's the one?
I can see it in your eyes. We have another rerun with Toby Ajayi, and he will be deciding if he or she is the one. Now, you definitely want to stay to find out if he's the one, she's the one, or if you should be walking.
You're the only one for me.
Oh, Shay, sing it.
Why can't you see?
Keep in there.
I know. What's that line? I know I'm not a from the start.
Yeah, the one that
Don't
used to
break what's left of my. That's Banky W now. That's
Oh,
where
yeah, that
those
was
days now
then.
when Banky W used to sing.
He's to pepper them
Yeah,
girls.
so now Banky is acting now. He has left. He has left. It was supposed that they tried to think that was Banky. Banky was a singer, like, but now,
now.
Oh, he's still a singer. He has a good voice.
Singer,
But Baba is now doing acting. That's where the money is dropping for Baba. So go get one.
He's really branching out to a lot
Yeah,
of
and all of that.
things. Yeah.
He's actually quite talented,
Yeah,
you know.
he
But I
is.
still remember that even for Rihanna, Banky have blown.
What happened with Rihanna?
You know, you forgot to put a meta.
Oh, yes.
That-
The way he said Rihanna, I thought maybe she did a video with his song. So I was like, how did I miss that?
How did you miss that? No, that those Baba was in US, wasn't
very
it? And they just
true.
did remix
Put
of
the meta,
Umbrella, all that dead here. Hey,
No,
superstar!
but talk that relationship topic now on a lighter note from coronavirus. How do you find out if he's the one or if she's the one?
That one is hard though.
After the song, you just finish singing.
I know, see, when it happens, where, see, there's no, I don't
Mike
know.
just categorically said, when it happens, means it has not happened.
No, my point is, see, this, I don't know, this life is complicated and easy at the same time. Okay. But let's hear what, our expert has to say.
Mike, you just went politically correct.
No, not political, like, it's hard. How do you, they say somebody will be acting like, like you reach the last bus stop, and the person has like conductor, like this.
Bole.
Okay, but hey, I've never been more happier to see Ibrahim.
Yes.
Of course, Ibrahim just abandoned us for a while. I don't know.
But
Ibrahim,
he's back.
Ibrahim, why did you go for a test? What happened? Where have you been, man?
You have to be very careful moving out of your house. Check everywhere whether you can see anyone in person of coronavirus, or if you see that the road is clear, then you just launch yourself on the road.
Anyways,
but I think everyone is just being very careful at this time.
Welcome back.
Great to have you back. You're welcome.
Thank you very kindly. Nigeria's coronavirus cases have risen to 44, with 41 confirmed active cases. The latest case is a chief of staff to the president, who recently returned from a foreign trip accompanied by the Nigerian officials, and the governor of Bauchi, who had contact with the son of the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. The Chief of Staff's health condition may have ruffled some feathers within the presidency and some highly placed Nigerians. It is unclear how many people the Chief of Staff to the President had close contact with, thereby making it difficult for health authorities to carry out contact tracing. Findings revealed that Abba Kyari traveled to Germany 2 weeks ago to meet with officials of Siemens to discuss Nigeria's electricity expansion program. The Chief of Staff left Germany to London and then Egypt and returned to Abuja on the 14th of March. Since his return, he has held various meetings with different government officials and continued to function in his capacity as the Chief of Staff to the President. On the 17th of March, he was with the President when members of the Economic Advisory Council visited the presidential villa. On the 18th, the Chief of Staff was at the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Muhammad Buhari and had in attendance the Vice President, Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Cabinet Ministers. There was also a leaked memo signed by the Chief of Staff expressing his concern over the refusal of some lawmakers to subject themselves to health screening at the airport, having just returned from high-risk countries. Thankfully, the President's test returned negative despite his close contact with Abba Kyari, considered as his right-hand man. But Abba Kyari just entered self-isolation on Monday when he started showing symptoms of the corona disease, and this has caused panic in the corridors of power. The Presidential Task Force of Covid-19 were also at the Presidential Villa to inspect the office of the Chief of Staff and perhaps to ensure Mr. President is not exposed to the virus. The situation around the country remains very fluid, with the numbers of infected persons rising daily and overstretching the country's health infrastructure. President Muhammad Buhari has also approved measures that may help break the chain of transmission and slow down the speed. And Lagos State is putting down measures to contain the spread of the coronavirus. This is why Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has ordered the shutting down of markets and stores in the state, except those selling food and medical items. The governor gave the directive at a press briefing on the COVID-19 situation in the state. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu at the press briefing on COVID-19 pandemic after meeting with heads of security agencies in the state, he announced new measures needed to be adhered to by residents of the city. He said public parks in private and residential estates, swimming pools, gyms, beauty salons and other public places should shut down until further notice. The State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, says the state has the capacity to do molecular test, which is 100% accurate, unlike the rapid test kits in circulation. Yaba Mainland Hospital, the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, and the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research have this facility. The national leader of the ruling All Progressives Congress of the APC, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, reiterated the need for people to cultivate the habit of social distancing to curb the spread of the virus. And nearly a third of the world's population, that is about 2.5 billion people, are under coronavirus-related movement restrictions as infections soar past 422,000. The U.S. experienced its deadliest day on Tuesday, recording about 163 deaths. The World Health Organization says the U.S. might become the epicenter of the virus as death toll there has surpassed 700. And that's a news update for this hour. Up next.
My name is Olatude Igbenga. You're welcome to the fitness segment with Classic Benga. Today we're going to be working on our abs. A lot of people have complained, how do I work on my abs? My abs are not showing. So we're going to be working on quick routines to get your abs activated. Remember to always stretch before your workout. So we're going to be stretching now. Go side by side, side by side. We're just trying to get the abs activated. You can go in, you breathe in and out. It makes it easier for you to hold your breath and control it. So you go anti-clockwise again. You stop, you relax, go down. Release the energy. Yes. So now we're going to the app program. The first workout is this. We're going to be doing seated leg raises. It's quite easy, but you need to get it. So you sit, relax, and raise your legs up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now, I don't have to hold the ground anymore, so I have to hold myself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Remember to breathe in and out. So we're going to be going crisscross on each leg. So our first move, 1, 2, 3, 4, slow and steady, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, you don't have to hold the ground anymore. You hold on to yourself. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. By now your abs should be activated. So we're going to the second routine. I'm going to be stretching my legs all the way from the back to the front. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Remember, breathe in, breathe out. Our third routine. So we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You've got it. That's our last routine. But we're going to do one more, just so that your abs can feel the music. So you go this way. Hold the position. Hold the position. Remember to always breathe in to control your breath. So we're going to count to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There you have it. Your abs are activated now. Always remember to drink lots of water after your workouts. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Okay, we're set here in the kitchen and I've got Chef Austin with me in the house. Hello, Chef Austin. How are you doing?
I'm good. Good morning.
We can still hear you now. Yeah?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good. I'm sure we can still hear you. Of course, this is safe cooking. And Chef Austin is here with a wonderful spread this morning. Chef Austin, what are we cooking this morning?
Yeah, I'm cooking a club sandwich.
Club sandwich?
Yes, please.
Ah, no wonder Tokwa is smiling anyhow. Okay, let's look at the ingredients here. What are the ingredients that we have to use for today's meal?
Yeah, we are having sliced bread here, cucumber, lettuce, tomato, chicken, ham, and then cheese.
Okay, good. There you see it there. Our bread is already toasted, right?
It's already toasted, yeah.
Is there any kind of, if you're toasting bread for sandwich, you know there are different levels of toast. There's medium toast, there's, full toast. How would you recommend the bread to be toasted?
Yeah.
Do you want it to be fully toasted or, how do you think we should do it?
It's fully toasted.
Fully toasted, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And these are the other things that we have. Okay, so let's get started. Let's see what we have. Yeah, right. Man, so what this is a...
this is just like accomplishment.
Okay.
Just like a side then.
A side? But this
dish.
is potato, right?
This is Irish potato.
Irish potato,
yes.
Me, I always prefer sweet potatoes, I always prefer sweet potatoes, I don't know. But then, when you're taking chicken and chips and all of that, can't one use sweet potatoes? I know Irish potatoes is the go-to, but can't one use sweet potatoes?
You can use sweet potatoes.
So I think that maybe you go into restaurants and all that, and then you ask for chips, and then they should ask you sweet or Irish.
Yes.
That's what I feel. Considering that there's a directive from the Lagos State government that restaurants should not have eating, that that it should be takeaway. So that's the thing now. So if you want some correct this thing takeaway like this, you can hit up Chef Austin. Chef Austin would arrange it. You can arrange it now.
Yes.
They will hit you up and all of that, and you get it done. Okay. So now, but I see that you didn't peel off the back,
yeah.
You didn't peel it off.
You can peel it and you can also leave it like that. And before you use it without peeling it, you properly wash it.
You properly wash it, right?
Yes.
You're going to have to wash it properly. Okay, wonderful. I love the way people will know how to cut, man. Your cutting is on point, man. I like this. Okay, so while this is going on, you already cut the cucumber, the tomatoes. These tomatoes, they look so nice. It's almost like I love. I'm not saying if tomatoes always should look this nice. I've been eating tomatoes, But it's cool to eat tomatoes raw, right?
Yes.
It's cool. It does really help something and all of that. Okay. So when we cook it, would it fall off the back, or would it still remain?
It will still remain.
It will still remain,
yes.
And it's safe to eat that way?
It's safe, very safe, yeah.
Very safe, wonderful. Great one. That's nice. Knowing this now, I just thought that maybe when it boils, it just goes off, but hey. Okay, so we're putting this in water, okay? All right, we're going to boil that one, right?
No.
Would we need this is already up, right?
It's already on, yeah.
Okay. Is the temperature okay for you?
It's okay, because I want to deep fry.
Okay, this is oil there.
It's oil.
The oil is so clear. It was almost looking like water or something.
It's a vegetable oil.
Okay, all right. So you still want it, but you don't want it very high.
It should be high.
It should be high, yeah?
I want to deep fry them.
Okay, you want to deep fry the Irish potato, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see if we can. Let's see how high we can make it. How high we can make it go. Okay. I hope that this is. Okay. All right. Let's see if we can make it. Yeah, I think that's the highest that we can go. Okay. So you want deep frying, right?
Yes,
the concept of deep frying is there has to be enough oil when you want to deep fry, right?
Yes.
So because yesterday I fried yam, and it was. I tried frying some sausage yesterday, and I used different methods. I made sure that there was enough oil and all that, and deep frying gives you a different effect, right?
Yes.
What kind of effect does it give when you deep fry?
Depends on the items you want to fry.
You want to fry, exactly,
yes.
Right? Depends on the items. This guy really actually does know what he's doing. Okay, so we're done with the potatoes now. What next? Okay, let's keep this one. We'll get them off later. What next now?
I have a mayonnaise here.
Okay, we have all right. Let's see, mayonnaise. All right. What are we doing? Okay, mayonnaise on the bread.
Yes, on
the bread. Wonderful. Let's see. Let's start that. So we have to wait for the oil to get.
Yes, let the oil get hot.
Get
first,
hot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then, so we'll have to wait for the oil before we do this, right?
Yes.
Before we do this one. Yeah. Okay. So we're getting here. We'll still come back here, but of course we have a performance. While the performance is going on, we're waiting for the oil to get ready and to get boiled, to get very hot and all of that. We have a performance later. Of course, is with our one, but then we also have home makeover. Budget. You know, we brought this up before, but hey, it is something that is always, you can always use it anytime. How to put your home together to decorate on a budget. That's what's coming right up on Home Makeover.
But let's talk some home makeover, shall we? Now, Faith Olajumoke Megwara is a creative lead at 10 Applause Interiors. She is back to talk a little bit about a topic a lot of people would love, which is decorating, planning on a budget, essentially. Whether it's a small house or a big house, you know, sometimes it can basically run out of your hands when you don't properly plan. Thank you so much, Faith, for joining us today. All right, so on a budget. I've just moved to a new house. I'm a bachelor. It's a small 2-bedroom. Where do I start?
Okay. People actually think that decorating has to do with a wholesome amount of money, like you need big amount. Most times we need to understand that decorating is a process. You might probably not get that immediately. So you start first with how much you have, what you own. Okay, if you start off as a bachelor, like you say, you practically don't have anything. So you now consider how much do I have this moment. The essentials, you need furniture, you need, you know, furniture for sitting, furniture for laying down. You start with that. Then it is important that when you want to start decorating, you start with the first piece. Consider the first piece. Most often, our draperies or the chairs, the furniture. You start with that. Okay, I have in mind to have a brown chair, a brown sofa. Then you start to walk around that. Walk around that with the budget you have in mind. And then you move step by step afterwards. Okay, you could consider also going through, instead of looking for where to buy furniture in a big scale, you could go through garage sales. You could go through, there's a page, I think overstock.com, where you see the assets.com section, where they sell practically new items, only that probably was opened wrongly or something. All of those bargain pages, you could go
bargain
there.
pages, go to bargain pages.
Yes.
Now, sometimes one thing I've heard people complain about consistently is, so I have a budget in mind for what I want to do. So maybe carpeting, and then maybe a sofa in the living room, and then something in the bedroom as well. Only for me to get there and discover that it's twice the price. Or just it's over my budget. What do I do in that kind of instance, especially if it's something that is essential, like something I need to sleep on? You get, so if it's a bed, you don't want to be buying secondhand. You want to buy something that is fresh and new. So how do you then develop your budget around that?
Okay, in instances like that, it's best to consider something that works for dual purposes. Okay, you could consider a bed that could also function as a sofa, as a sitting chair, as a sitting furniture. So that way you've saved up having to get a sofa and get a bed. So you get one and it functions for the two. And there are times when you could still wait for sales. You can wait for sales.
So I like this direction that you're going. You're telling us what to do. But one of the things that you mentioned is the fact that you don't have to buy everything at once. Because sometimes you're under that kind of pressure. So you just move to the house, it's empty, and you're thinking, okay, to fill up this whole house is going to cost me 1 million, and then you're looking for 1 million to do it. So you're saying one step at a time. And so is there a duration that you can wait for to ensure that everywhere is then filled?
Really, there's no duration, because duration is not going to pay the bills. There's no duration. You could take your time. You only, except that you know that you start with the essentials. There are some things that you will need immediately. Then for spicing up the place, decorating pieces here and there are also plenty do-it-yourselves that you could look into. You don't have to look at buying everything. You could get a wall frame to decorate your space. From having a picture enlarged and getting a frame off the market, an empty frame, and then you have it up there. Voila, you already have an artwork.
Yeah, so if again, if someone is doing it on a budget, should they hire a consultant like you and say, you know what, this is what I'm trying to do, could you help me out?
Okay, definitely. You should always consider hiring an interior designer.
Will that be more cost effective? Because that's the main thing. I still have to pay you your fees, right?
True. The truth is, if you don't try it, you won't know it. There are many interior designers that are ready to give you consultations for free. So at the time when you are now ready to settle down, you would consider them definitely. So you could always consider that option.
Wow.
Because they can be very time-saving.
Very true, very true. Thank you so much for joining us and talking about these little things that are important to our lives without us knowing it. So you can hire a consultant next time if you want to decorate. There's more. The third hour of Wake Up Nigeria continues after this.
My enemies go vanish. Now the boy is getting started.
And welcome back. Now on Nutrition today, we have certified nutrition health coach, Amolola Ajilola, whose focus is on disease prevention and healing of the body through nutrition. Now she's here today to discuss, well, last week we started a talk on gut health, and hopefully we can round that off today, and also maybe still have a look at nutrition beyond food. How you doing, Amalola?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So let's just go over what we talked about last week regarding gut health, so just to bring everybody up to speed on it.
So we just basically talked about the good bacteria in our digestive system and the bad bacteria and what they do. So today I want us to really look at how the gut health, the microbiome, those are the bacteria in our guts, really affects our immune system. Because a lot of times people talk about eating vitamin C rich food to boost your immune system, but the truth is that about 70 to 80% of our immune system is in our digestive tract. And so there is a mutually beneficial relationship between the immune system and the microbiome. The microbiome has the ability to talk to the immune system, help regulate it, help to make new immune cells. They create molecular signals that is sent to the immune system. And in turn, the immune system is aware that there are certain pathogens that they can't, that they can attack bad bacteria, which the good bacteria talks to them about. And also, it tells them, okay, so these are the good guys, this is what you should look out for, don't attack them, so that we can have different strains of bacteria. There are over 1,000 different strains of good bacteria, and there's so many bad bacteria as well. Now, the balance has to be tipped in favor of the good bacteria, so that we can have, good health. Because
so how does this work, though? Because sometimes it seems like when you look at all the things that you need to do to ensure that you have good gut health, it just feels like a lot of work. You have to be making choices here, buying this, and some people have complained that it's also pretty expensive to do. So if you're looking at grains and vegetables and a good balance across all your meals, it just feels like a lot of people can't afford to consistently eat a balanced diet. What would you advise in that kind of instance?
I mean, what exactly is balanced diet? I mean, really, it's about eating healthy food that is unprocessed. Things like unripe plantain, they contain resistant starch that feed the gut bacteria, because you need to feed them to be healthy. It's an ecosystem. They have a life. They do things, so they need to be fed so that they can feed us. They create numerous minerals and vitamins for us and all of that. So what happens is that for us to have good gut health, we have to remember 4 things. We have to repair, we have to remove the offending foods, or foods that are inflammatory in nature.
Can you just mention one or two?
Gluten, wheat, gluten, soy, dairy, things like that. And they're also
inflammatory in nature.
They're inflammatory in nature. They're also foods that are inflammatory to individuals that are not generally considered inflammatory. So you need to find those foods that upset your body and cause inflammation in there. And then you need to now replace those foods with healthy options. And people talk about expensive. You can buy in bulk, like going buy in bulk and storing it. Just stick to things that are natural, homemade. You can control the things that you're putting in there, eat a lot of grains, and then you need to now re-inoculate your body with good bacteria, because it's difficult to get good bacteria from just doing stuff. But bad bacteria you can introduce to your body by just touching your mouth. But the good bacteria you need to get into your body by eating fermented foods. So that's how you would re-inoculate your digestive system.
Things like yogurt.
Yes, things like yogurt, things like sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is fermented cabbage. Things like kimchi. Those are the kind of things that will re-inoculate inoculate the body with good bacteria.
With good bacteria.
Yes, and the last thing you need to do is to repair. How do you repair the digestive system? What happens is that when we assault our digestive system over time, it begins to have something called leaky guts. It means there are holes in the digestive system, and that allows food particles that haven't been properly broken down to enter into the bloodstream, pathogens, toxins to get into the bloodstream, and the immune system is constantly aroused to attack it. And that's why we're having a lot of cases of autoimmune conditions where the immune system is attacking itself.
Is that the result of loading up the system with too much bad foods, or what causes these leakages?
The leaky gut is as a result of having an imbalance in the microbiome. When the bad bacteria outweighs the good bacteria,
you then have a leaky gut.
You then have a leaky gut, because that assault and the kind of foods that we eat doesn't help the digestive system to repair, to recover, and so we keep assaulting it, and before you know it, there are holes in there, and that's when all the problems start to
I want us to talk about something that is, because a lot of people, especially in Nigeria here, we jump on trends, you know, so people talk about intermittent fasting, people talk about keto diets and things like that. I like trends. They're nice to read on the internet, but when people then put their whole lives on it, does this affect the immune system, like you're saying? Like people just going days without eating, or eating just one particular thing?
Okay, so intermittent fasting has actually been proven by research to be very, very healthy for us. Because what happens is that your body gets into a stage called, and begins to do something called autophagy. That's when the cells, your body starts to, instead of creating more cells, it's like when you eat so much food, there's a lot of party going on. Your cells are like, oh, let's divide. There's plenty to go around. Let's just keep celebrating and getting bigger and getting more. And what happens is that in that process, we begin to create cancer cells. But what happens when you fast is that your cells are now saying, we don't have a lot, so we need to try and repair the ones that we have here and try to make it work. And that's why fasting is good. And then, you know, there are tumors in our bodies that our immune system can't see. One of the things that fasting does is when you fast and you take like a digestive enzyme, it helps to really target those, because tumors.
Thank you very much for that, Yomi. Now, moving on to our second performance for this morning, we have Ibiyeye Akorede Saheed, known professionally as C. Dorfing. He is a fast-rising Afro-pop music sensation who started making music at the age of 15, now recording mostly in Yoruba and his native tongue. He's on a mission to take his music to the next level with a tune titled Expenditure. On his record, he teamed up with award-winning producer Spells and T-Piano. So is this what you'll be performing for us this morning?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Just blow us away.
It's my time, no stopping. So say I've been in the studio doing no solo. Say the time is not to get that money, to make that money.
Welcome to the third and final lap of the show. The next 45 minutes promises to be even more interesting. Now, if you're just tuning in, well, you've missed quite a lot. Yes, but hey, come on. There's still a little bit more that you can really get to enjoy.
Yes, it's the final lap of the show on our Wednesday edition of the show. And there's still so much to expect. And do stay with us for the next 45 minutes. My name is Tokwe Oloniyo.
Mike Mesikeno is mine. Now a stream online. Get on tvcentertainment.tv, Facebook TVC Connect to be a part of this show.
And
online.
Of course, send in your comments. We would love to hear from you. Kindly use our hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC.
Our app is also available for you to download. And now the app is available on Android and iOS, and you can watch us anywhere around the world once you have internet connection.
Yes.
Of course, Chef Austin did a wonderful job. He has gone so fast. We're supposed to go back to him, but Chef Austin, can you tell us? Chef Austin finished with something. Let's just close this show. Let's just close this show. Chef Austin, just very fast, can you tell us how that came together? That beautiful thing I'm seeing there.
We are having here club sandwich. It's a combination of toast bread, chicken, egg, lettuce, tomato, cucumber, and mayonnaise with sliced cheese.
Hey.
So social distancing includes food, please. So all of you, be distant from the food.
Distance.
Thank you.
Thankfully, Mike is fasting today, so we have no worries at all.
Chef Austin, there's also a paste there I can see.
It's ketchup.
Ketchup.
It's ketchup.
Yes,
Ketchup. Okay, we'll probably check out and see how we'll round up everything there. But wonderful, thank you very much. Well done, Chef Austin. Well done.
Yeah, now we
Great
still
man.
have good music coming from singer, actor, and entrepreneur Promise.
Okay, of course, are you in a relationship and you're wondering if he or she is the right one? Toby Ajayi will be sharing on deciding if he or she is the one. Now, this is one of our replays which we have shown you on the show so far. We've given you two. This will be also another one. You'll definitely enjoy this one.
And finally, for the latest in the world of entertainment, Ewoma Oyegwa will be joining us for a very interesting conversation.
Okay, so final lap of the show. Wednesday is going, and
And all I'm thinking about is the club sandwich.
the club sandwich, eh?
a
Good.
hot cup
So,
of
yeah, I have known friends who are talking about that they're already adding weight while isolating and all that. Is that a
Honestly.
challenge for you also?
To be honest, yeah, it is a challenge. Yesterday,
Okay.
I was looking at myself in the mirror and then I'm like, what's happening here? As in, my clothes, I only think my clothes were shrinking because I just got it back from the dry cleaner.
Okay.
And I'm just like, stop where? Tell yourself the truth. And the funny thing is, I now stocked up.
Okay.
I don't wait to open my fridge to look at the things I have bought.
Wow.
And I'm like, how are you going to keep fit
With this kind
with
of
those
things,
foods
yeah.
in the fridge? So I don't know.
Okay, so talk about you're going to leave the house for a while. I will come in with gloves and sanitizers and disinfectant.
Oh wow,
Yeah?
to disinfect my fridge.
I will disinfect the house. You see, disinfecting something is about removing what is unwanted.
Disinfecting my house.
Calm down now. Let me finish. I'm not finished explaining now.
I say no.
So I will disinfect your fridge and take out the things that are not ready. You will be out of the house and wear protective gear.
Stay away from
The
me.
type that Jack Ma brought.
Beautiful.
You know, meanwhile, I just want to give a big shout out to Jack Ma for his voluntary and philanthropic donation all around the world.
Oh, dear.
You know, he gave to Asia, different continents and all that. The one for Nigeria has arrived. And
Yes.
I must say, I know it takes a big person, a big man, you know,
heart.
a big heart, a big man to think about the world in such a manner. In
Yes.
such a manner. It's not, he's not the richest.
No.
He's rich, yes. He's not
rich,
the
yeah.
richest. We have people say
Even
that
if
can.
he was the richest,
Yes, sir.
the fact that it's not about where he shows that he's rich in heart beyond rich in money because his heart is big enough to take everybody else. There are a lot of people who are rich in money, but they're not rich in heart.
You know, I just
God bless you.
yeah, in fact, very
There are a lot of
big.
people who do need that.
Great one. I mean, well, like you said, even in the US, we had there's an issue of shortage of masks of all that for people that actually need them.
it, yeah.
Now, apart from, of course, we had a chef cooking. Of course, you saw him with the mask because he's cooking and all of that. But then, most of the time, more often than not, the people who need the mask are those who are who are caregivers,
Yeah.
and those who probably have some symptoms and don't want to infect somebody else.
Yes.
You know. So, but I know that's going to be a fashion statement now. So, people just carry masks and just be
But you know,
good.
that's the thing with Nigeria. Our coping mechanisms are very
Okay.
different.
Okay.
You see people with the mask. You see people making funny videos on social media.
Social media.
As much as it's their way of coping, I just feel like, oh, can we just try to take this a little more
bit
seriously?
serious.
And then sadly now, I was going to talk about the sanitizers.
Yeah.
Please buy brands that you know, because I saw videos on the internet of people just mixing forms of concoction and selling
concoction and
just
selling, eh?
because they want to make money this period. So as much as it might be expensive or it might be ridiculous considering the former price, this might just be a stretch that you need to take for your own safety, because you don't know what people are mixing out there.
Very true.
Yeah.
I would want to also recommend washing of hands 30 seconds, running water like what I always mention, 30 seconds. Ensure that the water is running, and soap, wash your hands. That's like the number one. All right, let's head over to the news. Of course, Ibrahim isn't standby for that one.
This really indeed is an extraordinary time for us, and then we just pray to Almighty God to make us survive this time. Nigeria's coronavirus cases have risen to 44 and 41 confirmed active cases. The latest case is the Chief of Staff to the President, who recently returned from a foreign trip accompanied by other Nigerian officials and the Governor of Bauchi, who had contact with the son of the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar. The Chief of Staff's health condition may have ruffled some feathers within the presidency and some highly placed Nigerians. It's unclear how many people the Chief of Staff to the President had close contact with, thereby making it difficult for health authorities to carry out contact tracing. Findings reveal that Abba Kyari traveled to Germany 2 weeks ago to meet with officials of Siemens to discuss Nigeria's electricity expansion program. The Chief of Staff left Germany to London and then Egypt and returned to Abuja on the 14th of March. Since his return, he has held various meetings with different government officials and continued to function in his capacity as the Chief of Staff to the President. On the 17th of March, he was with the President when members of the Economic Advisory Council visited the presidential villa. On the 18th, the Chief of Staff was at the Federal Executive Council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari and had in attendance the Vice President, Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the Cabinet Ministers. There was also a leaked memo signed by the Chief of Staff expressing his concern over the refusal of some lawmakers to subject themselves to health screening at the airport, having just returned from high-risk countries. Thankfully, the President's test returned negative despite his close contact with Abba Kyari, considered as his right-hand man. But Abba Kyari just entered self-isolation on Monday when he started showing symptoms of the virus, and this has caused panic in the corridors of power. The Presidential Task Force of COVID-19 were also at the Presidential Villa to inspect the office of the Chief of Staff and perhaps to ensure Mr. President is not exposed to the virus. The situation around the country remains very fluid, with the numbers of infected persons rising daily and overstretching the country's health infrastructure. President Buhari has also approved measures that may help break the chain of transmission and slow down the spread. And in Lagos State, the state is putting down measures to contain the spread of coronavirus. This is why Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has ordered the shutting down of markets and stores in the state, except those selling food and medical items. The governor gave the directive at a press briefing on the COVID-19 situation in the state. He said public parks and private and residential estates, swimming pools, gyms, beauty salons and other public places should shut down until further notice. The State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Bayomi, says the state has the capacity to do molecular tests, which is 100% accurate, unlike the rapid test kits in circulation. Yaba Mainland Hospital, the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, and the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research have this facility. The national leader of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, reiterated the need for people to cultivate the habit of social distancing to curb the spread of coronavirus. And nearly a third of the world's population, that is about 2.5 billion people, are under coronavirus-related movement restrictions as infections soar past 422,000. The U.S. experienced its deadliest day on Tuesday, recording about 163 deaths. The World Health Organization says the U.S. might become the epicenter of the virus, as death toll there has surpassed 700. And that's it on the news update for today on Wake Up Nigeria. Let's read.
Here are 7 steps to preventing the coronavirus.
Wash your hands thoroughly and frequently with running water and soap for at least 30 seconds. Avoid contact with people's hands and hard surfaces.
Number 3, always sneeze into a piece of tissue and cover your cough with your elbow, like this.
This is supposed to be number 8.
Step 4, avoid crowded spaces.
Step 5, stay at home if you feel unwell, even with a slight fever and cough.
Step 6, if you have a fever, cough, or difficulty breathing, seek medical help early.
And while we maintain social distancing, step 7 and the final step is stay tuned to this channel to receive more updates on the coronavirus.
Welcome, people. Now, our next performer for this morning is Promise Durajaye. Now, she is a singer, songwriter, actress, and entrepreneur. Now, she started singing at a very young age. Her passion for music led her to study at 10 Strings Music Institute. Now, in 2017, she became a semi-finalist at the Lagos Grow Talent competition, after which she dropped 2 official singles titled Yeba and Super Love in 2018. Her recent single, Every Day, is currently buzzing on all platforms. That's obviously what you're going to be performing, right?
Sure.
Oh, okay. So tell us a bit about your recent single.
Yeah, my recent single is about love.
Okay.
A girl in a particular village that fell in love with a copper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she fell in love.
Did you fall in love with a copper?
Yeah, I fell in love with a copper.
Oh.
And I followed him down to Lagos.
Lagos.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So how has that been?
Fine.
Fine. Like, are you people still together?
That's just...
That's like a disaster. Use the mic. So
Yeah.
what happened? Quickly, what happened?
No, nothing really. We're still together. We're good. We still talk about...
Are you sure?
Business.
Oh, you still talk about business, no more love.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Sing the song for all those who are falling in love with coppers out
Sure.
there.
I wanna love you, baby. Give me the love, yeah, baby. I wanna love you, baby. Before you ask why, I'ma give you all day.
Welcome back. It's time for our relationship segment right now. And with us, we have certified family life coach and seasoned entrepreneur. Now, she's passionate about marriages and family and well-being. And this passion led her to set up 3 Chord Couples, a premarital and postmarital counseling outfit where she mentors on marriage and family well-being. Now, she's joined us today to discuss something I find very, very interesting: deciding if he or she is the one. And of course, how family helps us or doesn't really help us make that decision. I'm going to say that because there are quite a few people out there that just decide to make that decision on their own. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
All right, so as a family life coach, let's talk a little bit about the role of family in making this decision.
Okay, so the family is actually a very important part of our lives. The family unit is what makes us, and we're a product of, everybody's a product of a family. So it depends on our perspective to life, our decisions, values, everything we are is family based, is what we have experienced as children, as we're growing up and all that. So yes, whatever decision we make will also still be as a result of the family. So how you view, for instance, a man, how he views a woman, how the woman views a man, what the values are, you know, it will determine what exactly she wants in a man, or probably what she has seen in her father, or what he has seen in his mother.
Okay, so the family being a very important unit of society, you know, we as people trying to make that choice. Okay, I won't say we now because I've already done that, but a young person or someone who wants to settle down is making the choice based on his or her experiences. That's what you're saying in the family home. So now, for instance, if you grew up in a military family, your dad's a soldier, maybe your mom's a nurse, and you know you find a fine boy who's into entertainment. How do you think that's gonna go? Making that decision to settle down with someone completely out of the space you're used to?
Well, I think it doesn't really have to do with who exactly your father is or your mother is. It doesn't have to do with their work or.
Okay.
So I think it's more about the values and what you want in that person. Yes, you know, your values are actually shaped by your family, but you won't actually say because my dad is a doctor, I have to marry a doctor, or because my dad is a whatever, I have to marry that kind of person. Yeah. So of course, you might consider the acceptance. Probably because the guy is in entertainment, you might be like, would my dad like that or what? But it's still your choice in the long run, so you find a way of convincing them.
Okay, so I would like to figure out if there are any points we could give to someone who's trying to make a decision. What do you think that they should look for, that is most important to look for in a future partner?
Okay, your belief systems, your compatibility, and your values. So does your values align? I think that is very important, and because a lot of times people just these days, as in people just feel like okay, so we look at the externals, but the external is just like the icing on the cake. I think it's more about the internal. So what are his values? What are her values? Do our values align? So even religion, that is also very, very important, because we cannot, a lot of times we just find ourselves falling head over heels, and they always say love is blind. And then you cannot see anything at that point in time. But you need to actually wear goggles if you have to, or recommend glasses these days, because you have to, there are a lot of things you have to look at. So I always advise people to list their values and what they really want. We have good to haves, we have must haves. So some of the good to have lists and must have list.
Okay.
And I always say that you should not bend your must have list. Okay. Don't bend it. Good to haves, yeah, if he has it, if she has it, if she doesn't, I can do without it. Okay. But the must have, as in, is key.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so family is important and how they feel about it is key, but you should have a must-have list and a good-to-have list before making that decision to settle down. Please reach out to us on social media as soon as you can with your questions. Use our hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC if you have any questions for her. Thank you so much once again for coming to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Now it is time for us to catch up with our celebrities and what they have been up to. And I have with me Ewoma.
What's up? How you doing? High five.
So before we start here, Ewoma says the only thing that she's worried about, she thought I would rat you out this corona period, is her nails.
I know.
Be like Ewoma, don't allow corona bother you. That's the only thing. But moving on, starting off the entertainment news, we start with Tom Hanks and wife who are showing signs of recovering from COVID-19. This is great news, I must say. The coronavirus pandemic inspires artists as it continues to alter daily activities across the globe. As the coronavirus alters daily lives for people across the globe. Now, we're thankful that Tom Hanks and his wife have come up to share a video to say that they're actually recovering from the virus. Now, apart from them, other people, footballers also came out to say that they have recovered. So I think it's like a breath of fresh air. Yes. Considering everything going on, we just needed one person to give us good news.
Of course.
And all this is what we need. The footballers, congratulations. But I think they should still try as much as possible to practice social distancing. Because Mike said something interesting while we're talking. He's like, someone who has recovered from coronavirus, do you think they can get coronavirus again?
We need to wait for the scientists to let us know if that's possible, because it would be a bad thing for them. It would be disastrous. For it to happen again.
Yes, so, but moving on, Cardi B, now she recently landed an unexpected hit after a Brooklyn-based DJ and producer turned rapper's impromptu Instagram rant about the novel coronavirus into a lively remix. The song from DJ Marquez features Cardi B's venting about not understanding the coronavirus or its rapid spread across spread across the globe. It borrows its hook from the rapper's exasperated declaration that things are getting real. She used a 4-letter word in her phrasing and her rap's delivery of the virus name. Let's see it. Now, did you see the video?
Yeah. Dancing is getting real.
So I watched her video, like when she was ranting, and I thought it was hilarious. Like, as much as I got her points, like, she's talking about you ordering stuff from China. She's like, oh, your weaves can't come, your shoes can't come. And she's like, then she said, it's like the virus is going on a tour. You know how artists go on a music tour. I felt her pain in a very hilarious way. I'm hoping the video is ready for us to see.
Guess what, bitch?
we should start dancing that now. TikTok, Trailer, and
yes, and start, you know, just to give people something to laugh at, you know, just to calm the nerves of people out there.
And some Nigerians have started doing theirs. I saw a clip where Yemi Alade and some other funny-looking people did some like Nigerian person, did a mashup, and that one too was like.
I saw Bisola's one. Have you seen Bisola's one? Bisola, she kind of like imitated. Cardi B, and she really got it with the expression.
With the hand sanitizer. So
hand sanitizer.
Wash your hands. Sanitize your hands.
It's more like sending the message in a very calm and chilled way. But moving on, we also have this special one coming from a Nigerian artist, Texstar. This video trended on Twitter over the weekend. Let's see it.
They don't get corona. Now me there for you now. Oh shit, calm down, get no use me play. Cause I be hot cake, oh, you can call me sanitizer. I be your sanitizer. Oh shit, I know what I hear, say. I know what I hear, say. You there with another man.
So at the beginning, I didn't really get the jerk of the song, but eventually, that made sense. You see, Nigerians are really talented people, but it's sad that sometimes we need something really scary to bring up.
And make us stay calm too. And thankfully, Cardi B and the other DJ, whatever proceeds they get from selling the record, would go to charity and to help people.
Did Cardi B categorically say that?
The Billboard people and every other person that have put together that tune.
Oh, they said that.
Yes,
that'll be good. I mean, now we just need to try as much as possible to give as much help as we can, because I did read in the news how some hospitals in the US are complaining that they don't even have enough masks and enough supplies, health supplies for people who actually need them. So as much help as they can get, I really hope that they get it. Now we're going to enjoy Cardi B's video one more time. I'm so sorry. I love the video. We have to see it.
And I have to make my own song.
You have to make now that was funny. I was trying to get Mike to see the video.
And give you the sanitizer.
Give me the sanitizer. Don't mind him. He took us out of character. But we're going to do our own video. Watch out. Coronavirus.
Get real. Sanitize.
Yes, sanitize. But you know, the good thing is, as much as these videos are hilarious, they actually pass the message across. The coronavirus is real. Sanitize. So as much as we're laughing, please, but before we wrap up the show, remember to sanitize, wash your hands, 20 seconds. It's really not that much. Avoid touching your face. If you want to touch your face, go and wash your hands again and then wash your face. In fact, my colleague yesterday went to wash her face the moment she felt like she was about to touch her hand. So it's not too much. Running water, wash your hands, sanitize, wash your face. Stay away from people. See, I am a woman. As much as we're cool, we are social distancing.
Yeah.
So you know what? Let's take you for breakfast, right? Allow me to say it. Allow me to fantastic. What's fantastic?
The breakfast. From this view,
aren't
it's
you
heavenly.
Fasting for the nation.
It's a heavenly view. So let's go do this together.
Yes, welcome to the kitchen.
Please, we need that Lord Sky's own. Well, let's be feeling that Lord Sky's own, so that you will need to dance or you eat this. If you don't dance, I'm not going to eat this food. Okay? Yeah. So, but Chef Austin, all right?
This is interesting.
I'll grab a seat, please. Yeah. Grab a seat.
You know what, guys?
All right,
like you and I were G's.
Okay, so Chef Austin, can you run us through This, how we got to this?
We are having club sandwich here.
Okay.
It's a combination of sliced bread, chicken, ham, tomato, cucumber, and lettuce with sliced cheese.
Okay.
Okay, all right, so that's it there. And then, of course, we have orange juice here. Oh, ma. So, you didn't dance or else. You're supposed to dance.
Oh my God. In fact, we should play that song so that you dance.
Drink this, eat this thing fast. If not, you won't see it here.
Where do I start from?
Yes.
You know you have to give us your feedback.
Where am I from, Seth?
Okay.
Okay, count up.
But
it's fantastic.
It's fantastic.
No, take your time, take your time. Take your time.
Great.
You want to try the juice with it?
Oh, shoot.
And then, of course, there's the ketchup by the side if you need, you need ketchup and all of that.
I'm great.
You are?
Great?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Mike, let's wrap up the show first.
We're wrapping up the show. I'm just wrapping up the show.
Mike,
it's been a wonderful time. Big shout out to everyone who was a part of the show. To all our guests, thank you very much for coming. And then, of course, we had some replays for you from previous editions. I hope you enjoyed them. You see most of them coming up on subsequent days and all of it. You see those replays. But thank you also out there for being a part of this show. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, bye.
Yay.